Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Dr. B. So I want to work 3 different problems here that are moles to moles problems, which is your basic type. What we are going to focus on in this problem are just going from here to here. So the only thing we're going to be using is molar ratios, which basically means we're going to only have one definition. And the definition we're going to use is molar ratios. Okay, so remember what we do is we get molar ratios from chemical equations. So this is the chemical equation we're going to use for all 3 of the problems. Okay, we are looking at hydrogen plus oxygen, and it's 2 hydrogens to 1 oxygen gives us 2 waters. All right, so problem number 1 reads like this. It says, how many moles of hydrogen or water are produced when 5 moles of oxygen are used? Your job is to determine who the known is. All right, so the known is what we know more about. It is right here. 5 moles of oxygen is our known. So we can write in here 5 moles of oxygen. That's O2. All right, so we are just identifying that for right this very second. All right, so now the next thing we want to do is, what's my unknown? Well, my unknown is my question mark. How many moles of hydrogen? So this is going to be moles of, that's not hydrogen, sorry, that's water. Okay, so that's my known and my unknown. And what I just have to do is I have to come up with a molar ratio. So what we will notice when we're looking at this graphic is, if we are going from A is always going to be the known, and B is always going to be the unknown. When we go from known to unknown, we follow this arrow, and it always says to put the moles of the unknown on the top, moles of the known on the bottom. The reason comes back to then this thing that says we want the bottom unit to match here. Okay, we want these 2 parts to match, the bottom and the top, because then we can cancel them. So how many moles of the unknown water is in the problem? Well, it's 2. So we're going to put 2 here. All right, and how many moles of the known are there? We're looking at 5 moles of oxygen. Well, there's a 1. So it's a 2 to 1 ratio. We now have absolutely everything we need to do this problem. Your job is just now to set this up. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to put, remember, we always set the problems up, the moles of the unknown, which is H2O, is going to be equal to the moles of the known, which is O2. Well, instead of the recipe, which calls for 1, we have 5. 5 moles of O2. There's my unknown, my known. We're questioning how many moles of H2O. The only thing we have to do with this kind of a problem is put in the molar ratio. Again, we're going to put moles of the, this is based on the formula, the equation. We know that there are 1 mole of oxygen. This is this ratio, and we have 2 moles of H2O. When we do this, we're going to see, and I don't know that my pen's going to work real well, that moles of oxygen cancel, and we now have moles of hydrogen, water over here. I don't know why I keep calling that hydrogen, and we have moles of water over here. So in this particular case, guys, the math is simply 5 times 2 divided by 1. So our answer is going to be 10 moles of water. All right, 10 moles of water. Okay, so let's try it again. We're going to go to problem number 2. All right, so problem number 2 says we have 3 moles of, put tape on here so it doesn't go anywhere. We have 3 moles of H2O. That means this is our known, and we're asking for how many moles of oxygen. So this is my unknown. All right, so how many moles of oxygen are in the formula on the equation? 1. So that's going to go on the top. This becomes O2. And we have water on the bottom. It's my, oh, I put that, sorry. That should have been H2O. Sorry, I did that backwards. I have 2 moles of H2O there. All right, my question then, my problem, we've got all of my information here, is the question mark is how many moles of O2 equals 3.00 moles of H2O. And we're going to put 2 moles of H2O on the bottom since it's my known, and 1 mole of O2 on the top. And this is established by my problem. So in this case, we have 3 times 1 divided by 2, so I end up with 1.5 moles of oxygen. We can see moles of hydrogen cancel. Moles of oxygen match. All right, so again, these are really simple problems. Let me do one more for you and then tell you that your job is going to be to work some of these problems. You've got about 4 or 5 of them we're going to assign you in the Google form. All right, so we're starting here. Kind of let you look at this. Identify your known, because we're given a number and a unit. So this is 2.5 moles. Let's see if I don't mess this up, of H2O. So that's right there. We know that this is going to go right in here, 2.5 moles of H2O, because the known automatically gets put in that first box, in that first spot. My unknown, how many moles of hydrogen gas must be used? So moles of H2. There's my unknown and my known. Now all we have to do is determine the molar ratio. That goes right here. Since H2 is my unknown, I'm going to use the 2 and put it here. Since my known is water, we see there's a 2, so we're going to say 2 moles of H2O here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 2. I'm going to put them, I'm going to substitute each of the molar amounts in our molar ratio into the formula. We're going to cancel where we are going to cancel before we ever do the math. Moles of water goes away. What I end up with is the same thing I'm looking for. So in this particular case, it would be 2.5 times 2 divided by 2, which really means I'm going to end up with 2.5 moles of H2. So again, these are really simple problems. And now I'd like for you to go ahead and go over to the form, and we'll see if we can get them done. Okay? Thank you. Bye.